morning, good afternoon, race fans. It is January, it's July 28th, 2023. This is the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying watch-along. This is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel, and you're listening to Grash right now as on commentary. So we got some news to go over between FP1 and FP and now. Alpine just did a massive shakeup of their structure. Utmost Software gone, team principal. The sporting director, Alan Prune, ending 30 years at Enstone. Both of them are leaving by mutual agreement. They were pretty much sacked. Pat Fry has left Alpine, is now joining Williams as their new chief technical officer. Bruno Famin, the VP of Alpine Motorsports, will be the interim team principal going from the Dutch Grand Prix onwards. Julian Rose, the academy director, has been named the interim sporting director, and then Matt Harmon will lead the technical team and Enstone. So yeah, a lot of changes at Alpine. After what happened, the fact that we've had two races where both of the Alpines were taken out by in questionable ways. Basically, this level of changeover was to be expected. Yeah. Moving on. So the weather. This has been interesting because FP1 it rained. It stopped raining for the F3 qualifying session. The track got dry for F2. Then there was a red flag. I claim responsibility for that red flag, as always, because I was watching. And then basically it took 4 or 5 minutes, the rain came in. So about a third of the field got a clean lap in, basically. And ultimately with that, crazily Prima got 1-2 because they were out front and they pushed. And they were able to get their laps in before it rained. And so it rained. That started about, I would say, about 45 minutes ago. It rained, and it rained hard. But it has stopped. It has stopped raining. And there's actually blue sky around the track right now. So the track is drying out, but the question is, how wet is the track right now? How is that track going to evolve? As it dries out, pretty much. And those are the big questions. The other big news is that Max Verstappen is taking I believe his 5th gearbox. He basically went Jeddah. I think he went through two gearboxes at Jeddah. So he's now on his 5th gearbox, which means he's taking a 5-place grid penalty wherever he basically qualifies. So if he qualifies P1, he will drop down to P5. I mean, to P6. We are about 5 minutes ago before we get into this is the qualification for Sunday's race. The next session after this will be the sprint shootout, which will be the qualification for the sprint race itself. So we've got some qualification to go between now and tomorrow morning. This is Grash with you right now, talking to you. Again, this is the Racing Tickets YouTube channel. I want to thank everyone who's showed up already so far. If you haven't liked so far, that helps us greatly. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, basically, if you enjoy talking about F1 motorsports in general, come join our Discord channel, which I don't have the link. Let me get the link. There we go. So I've just dropped the link into chat. Manos, there will be quality. The track, it has stopped raining and the track is drying, but it is a wet track because it rained about in the last half hour. It stopped raining. So there is some blue skies around the track, but it is, hazy, humid, and it could rain again pretty soon. Again, the track is wet but improving. So that's one of the interesting questions is how is the track improving over time? And F1 is just starting their beginning of their 5 minutes before the beginning of the session package. So the selected compounds were the C4, C3, C2, C2 being the hardest, C4 being the soft, and C3 being the mediums. But obviously, we've got intermediates and wets in play this weekend. So that's where we stand right now. Alpine just shuffled the deck with management. 3 people out, 3 people in new positions into terms. Williams getting one of those Pat Fry's getting that from Alpine over to Williams. Again, Sparkfly is asking, will quality start on time? Yes, it will start on time. Has the time been changed? No, it's going to start on time. And it's going to be the traditional quality format. So basically, drivers can use any tire they choose, unlike last week where we had a prescribed tire. So, Kalia and Kazaroff, I hope I didn't butcher your name, saying Alpine pulling a helmet Marco. Il saying, Lando, you can do it. Quality start has been, it just, start quality it's a race control, they're going to delay quality for 10 minutes. And that's going to, so I've got another 10 minutes with you. Racing statistics, please put up 10 minutes on the board. And you can go away. You don't want to be here. I am a moderator in the YouTube chat as well, and I'm watching what you are saying, and I'm moderating as I need to. No. Randy P says Otmar over to get Otmar over to Haas. Oh no, no way, no way. It's one of those. There's a revolving door in F1. When you're in type scenario. But I just after how he got destroyed in Drive to Survive. After basically what has happened with Aston Martin, I just don't see. I mean, he might get another job, but it won't be in a team principal role. Marie, I just saw that you were timed out by the bot. Basically, what happened is you have a period and you get text on both sides of the period. So if you, again, for those, the bot basically is programmed basically if it sees a period and it sees text on both sides of the dot. So if you don't put a space after the period, it thinks therefore it's a link and it's going to time you out. Yeah. So again, breaking news right now. Race Control says that the start qualify is being delayed by 10 minutes. So we have added 10 minutes to the quali start timer. So that timer now that you see is correct. So we will be starting in about 9 minutes. So. Not sure why it's been delayed for 10 minutes. It might be that they're giving time for the track to dry out more, because basically we're not looking at any rain coming in at any time soon. And I'm just going, so I just went to AccuWeather's forecast minute by minute. They're not predicting any precipitation for at least for 2 hours out. So we've got clean skies at this point. No rain coming in through at this point. So I want to thank the 2,749 watching right now. Situation is on track. Quali has been pushed back 10 minutes. That's going to be 8. So technically, it's going to be 8 minutes from now. We basically have a clear sky, and the track is drying as we speak right now. Sabin, thank you. The electric. So one of the things that's been going on right now is that there was a lot of work being done on removing the electric blankets from F1. It looks like the meeting this month, where this was where it was going to happen, basically they pushed the blanket ban back to, I believe, 2025, I think, at this point. Basically, they need more time to figure out how to do it. Of all the tires right now, the only tire that does not have a blanket required for it is the blue wets. And that started, I think, Monaco was when we first saw that tire. All the other tires currently still have, you need a tire blanket. And is this Russell or? Yeah, George Russell is lined up 6 minutes to go on Inters. So, I've got Biggles joining me again. Thank you, my friend. I don't know if you heard, but delayed start for Quali. We got 6 minutes to go before it goes greens.
Yes, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for having me back there, Grash. 10 Manitos into tires there because there's no rain currently falling. Track's still definitely damp, but they're all lining up on pit road. George Russell and Sir Lewis Hamilton. There's both of the Ferraris are lining up there, getting little race messages. The pace is something. Bright sunshine here at the end of the pit lane from George Russell. Bright sunshine. Wow, that's something, isn't it? Compared to a few hours ago, my friend. Wasn't bright sunshine then.
Oh, no, an hour ago it was raining. It came down hard basically during the F2 qualification session. The track was relatively dry. They could use the slick tires, and then they got a red flag, and then they were able to do their out lap, and then only about a third of the field was able to do a lap before it started raining again. And within a minute of that, it was pounding hard raining. So rain got wet again. We are now drying. And I think that's probably why we were pushed back about 10 minutes. There was a red flag, which may have pushed us. They may need a little more time for F2 to get out of the way. That could be the other reason why. But the net effect is that we're going to get a drier track the next 5 minutes had we started, 5 minutes on time.
Joe Kangaroo, Team Radio, is like, back on high voltage. You see, ask the team, can we go back on high voltage route? Yes, confirmed, says the team. Oh, I love it. So the first real serious pace we're going to have this weekend, my friend, and it's the time to do it, isn't it, in qualifying? Thank you very much for those kind remarks out there. Yes, we are going to get underway. Over 3,000 of you watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Paula, loving you back, my friend there. Martina, loving you, and everybody else enjoying themselves. And those questions earlier, everybody that tuned in really early in eager, of course, waiting for this qualifying session, we're asking some fantastic questions out there in the chat. And so I help myself, yourself there, and everybody else that answered a lot of those questions about how's this qualifying format working out, how many qualifyings are doing, when's the sprint. Sprint weekends are always a little bit confusing, my friend. So the best we can also do to help out everybody as we're going to get ready to go. George Russell, the first in the pit lane exit, ready to go. So as race control says green, 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 George Russell's going to get out there because you don't know if those clouds are going to come back over, my friend, and perhaps lay a little bit more water around Spa.
And right now we've got Hug Bear in chat. He says it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Hug Bear.
Happy birthday.
He hopes wish Lando on pole. That would be really cool if Lando was on pole.
Hey, it's possible, right?
It's very much possible. McLaren is the second best car at the moment, which is very interesting given where they were at the beginning of the season.
Some everybody a big shout out there, big happy birthday. You know what? Another lap around the sun, and that is fantastic. We'll hopefully see more laps around Spa. So big happy birthday, big congratulations. Thank you very much for supporting Racing Statistics. Lovely community of everybody that loves Formula One. Even if you're new to Formula One, trust me, you're going to fall in love with Formula One as the drivers soon and get the first taste of the fastest laps, I would imagine, Crash. Now, in these conditions, we're going to see a true example. Well, you have to, don't you? Because, hey, it's qualifying.
It's still wet. Again, Russell's still on inners. The track's not dry enough for. I don't think it's dry enough for the slicks.
I'll tell you what, this audience, but I mean, yeah, you probably may see the pictures back in highlights and stuff, but I've never seen such an enthusiasm. I thought the Dutch army were mad, right? When you get a Zandvoort, and obviously the Italians and Monza and stuff like that. But everybody here in Belgium, in rain, hail, and sunshine, they were every smiling, jumping up and down in pouring rain. And now, obviously, they don't have to have the umbrellas out. They don't have to have ponchos out. The sunshine's now peeking through those clouds, and they're just as hyped and as excited. I've never seen such an enthusiastic audience anticipating this Belgian GP qualifying session, of course, sprint races, and then the Formula One full race on Sunday. Anyway, only way to find out, my friends, get those cars pounding around 7-kilometer circuit.
Got people changing into drier shirts now. Little kid just put a Max Verstappen t-shirt on and a Red Bull cap.
Oh yeah, real quick at the moment. We got a little bit of time before they're going to get started. Give us a shout out from wherever you are in the world. That's the thing I love, and you love that too, don't you, Crash?
Like, where are you these days, Biggles?
These days, my friend, I'm still in Central America and Panama, who aren't doing too well in the FIFA America's Women's World Cup. However, Australia still hanging in there at the moment. USA, my friend, the defending champions, are still hanging in there. Good, and make sure to support the women's teams out there, because everybody's always about the men's World Cup. But hey, trust me, those ladies are fantastic, and it's you get a chance to catch up on that one. Sporting weekends are everywhere too for now, and the cars are lining up on pit lane. Unfortunately, my friend, if you are the Williams team, you have to wait for all those cars because they're right down the end, close to the exit pit lane.
I got to give a shout out to Jose and David Neal II. Both of them are in the state of Texas with me. Jose is in South Texas, David's in Dallas, and I'm like 30 minutes north of him, up on I-35. So
I guess it's pretty much hot for everybody in the world at the moment because everybody's going through a heat wave. I mean, even Belgium somehow's got the sun shining on it right now. So it's good to see everybody. Philippines, so a few people from Australia, Malaysia, Texas. Bigger and better in Texas, mate. Are you,
Yeah, for the
you get a
past
chance to
month.
go to the Texas GP, the Dakota, or not?
We'll see. It's expensive. It's in Austin. It's not. I'm in
Yeah.
North Texas, and Austin's in Central Texas.
Hey, it's a couple drive.
It's about.
The cars are out.
There we go.
I'd love
Yeah.
for you to do a live commentating here on Racing Statistics from trackside of Coda. Maybe not
That
this
would
year,
be
but
the
next.
dream, is to somehow be able to get onto into the stands with something where I could just broadcast as we're in the stands.
We'd hear those cars going, "Whoa, we can't hear you, mate. What? Turn the cars down a little bit." Anyway, the cars are out on track, and the spray's there, of course, because the track is still damp. Did you know what happened earlier? I know that you were relayed on the F2 situation.
Yeah. So what happened in F2 is basically they started with a relatively dry track, but they knew that the rain was coming in again. They got a red flag, and then basically we were able to get back out on track, and only a few drivers were able to get out onto track with a clean lap. About a third of the drivers did, and so when that happened, it basically locked in all the times. Everyone came to the pits pretty much at that point, and that was it for F2 quali.
All right, thank you very much for that one. So the cars are out on track. George Russell's first. Hamilton's behind him. Bottas, Albon, and Norris. We have both of the Aston Martins. Alonso a little bit further up the road there. Oscar behind him. Lance Stroll, Joe Granu, and the Hulkenberg and Mag are out there for the Hasses. So expect those times to tumble as they start to remove all that track spray.
Yeah, I mean, as is right now, the board has not been populated. We're seeing the first flying laps right now. Everyone right now is on inners. The only one who's not out on track is Sargent, which is interesting because he did in FP1 he did crash his car into the wall. So it's a good question: is he going to get out? No. So right now we have Norris. Yeah, we're going to wait a little bit before
first
we get
flying lap from George Russell as he makes his way up through Eau Rouge, testing the conditions on the inters for the very first time this weekend, realistically for the Mercedes team, going and flying up through Radion, down in the Camel Straight. Flares are going off into the stadium. They're orange flares at the moment. George Russell is not focusing on that. He's focusing on his braking point as it goes through Lacombe. They'll see those times as they're certainly going to be all set in purples and personal bests.
The three to look at right now is Russell, Hamilton, and Albon. They're the three fastest, 33.9, 34.1 for Hamilton, and 34.008 for Albon at the moment.
This is it's also, remember, big shoes to fill at the moment because Russell's the first one testing these track conditions. He's the first one removing spray and creating essentially what will be a racing line for the rest of the field.
Russell took fastest second two, only to have it be taken by Hamilton a few seconds after that. So we're coming up on Russell's first flying lap. Hamilton will be next, and then trying to see where is
after that, my friend. It will go to Norris, I believe. But no, Bottas is in there.
So Russell has done a 2-minute 2:02. See where Norris has done a fastest second sector. Hamilton has done a 2:02.280, so about a tenth faster.
Some of the Red Bulls are slow because they're on their just exiting pit road and they're trying to let the faster cars go through. Russell goes through to the Bottas chicane.
Bottas goes third, but he is 2 seconds off. Albon goes 0.7 off for P3, so 2:03.006. Norris has gone P1 with a 2:01.874, so he's about almost within a half as a 0.4 faster than Hamilton.
Yeah, apologies, my
Piastri has had some subsectors, and Magnussen and Stroll. Piastri's going to go P5 with a 2:02.790. Alonso's gone P4 with a 202.708. Looking at his Bottas is P8, Zhou is P9, Magnussen jumps to P8. Science has some subsectors, and Leclerc has some sectors that are the fastest, but not. Let's see. Hulkenberg goes P9.
It's still tricky out there for sure.
Yes, Zhou goes P11.
There is some puddles and spray in certain parts of the track. As far as I can see at the moment, it's not into the heavy braking zones, but it will cool the tires down. The Inters are so durable, aren't they?
Russell's just gone P1. Russell's going with P1 with 201.485. Magnussen had gone P1. Has been taken away by Hulkenberg, fastest sector 1. So there. Science has gone P7. Perez has the fastest third sector. He's gone P4, 202.53.
And remember, this is Q1, so 5 drivers will be knocked out on this one. So you just have to get yourself in the top 15.
Verstappen is going 201.597 P2. So he's within a tenth of Russell.
Yeah, Kevy's lap was deleted by going outside the track limits. Some of the team radio at the moment.
Science is the fastest sector 1 right now, and Prassi is the fastest. Okay, Prassi's just gone. Oscar's gone 201.435. So he's within a half a tenth of Russell.
Race right control message from Charles Leclerc. So everybody's pushing. Okay, second lap. So keep an eye out on Leclerc, who's currently P17. He's going to need a second lap. See if they're going to hold off, maybe falling back into the pit.
So there's an incident with Albon and Verstappen with impeding.
I think that was the old backing up there to put a flying lap in. We saw that in Hungary, didn't we, my friend? Everybody gambling all the way down in the third sector to get a good flying lap in. That's the problem if you do that, my friend. Get caught in
Magazine's
traffic.
Gone P8 with the fastest sector 3. Science has gone fastest sector 1. He's done well in his second sector. Gasly and Ocon gone 7 and 8th right now. Keep an eye. Science is about to finish his lap. Leclerc about to finish a good lap. Leclerc goes P3, 202.557. Ooh.
Lando snap, I think.
Ooh, Lando goes off track.
That's in the high-speed section, isn't it? Into
he gets through the gravel, but wonder what damage has done to the bottom of his floor. Science has gone P1, fastest sector 1, sector 3.
Lando, we have possible front wing damage. If you want to change the front wing, we do a push to call push. Otherwise, we should box this lap and put a new front wing on. How does it feel for him? They're asking right now, the team. Should continue or box?
I would, with front wing, I'd probably get that on as fast as possible. Norris is P7 right now. So, yeah, I mean, like, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, his track just got deleted from race control, no doubt, because he went right off the track. That's a no-brainer.
So right now, the drivers in trouble are Zhou, Stroll, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Sargent. And I don't...
I don't think Logan's going to go out, my friend. Oh, he's on outlap. They have got the... Albon's had a little bit of moment into the bus stop.
So, yeah, the incident is with Max in the way of Albon, and that's what they're looking at. That would be if previous experience with impeding, if that is issued a penalty, that would be another 3 places for Max.
That doesn't look like too much to me, my friend. The replay, I don't think that's a great deal. We'll see how that pans out later on. But
I'm not going to make a prediction whether it's a penalty or not, because who knows what the stewards are going to do.
Well, they're going to look at it from multiple angles, multiple parts of the track, what's going on, who's on a fly, who's not, etc., etc. Ricciardo's out on track, wiggling a little bit on the rear end of one of the most difficult cars in the Formula 1 grid to drive, but if
He's
anybody
only
can drive it, the
2
Australian.
tenths behind. Let's see.
Yeah, his teammate. Sorry, not his teammate, but
Tsunoda's gone 7th, fastest sector 3, 201.662. And where did Ricciardo go? He's going to end up. He's going to be P12, 202.157 about.
Yeah, but you got to remember, everybody, P12 and the slowest car on the grid essentially is not too damn bad, because looking to see themselves into Q2 more than anything. Remember, they're not going to be putting themselves at the top of the timesheets, not anytime soon. Looking at
So right now at the bottom of the board, we've got the 2 Haas's, 2 Alfa Romeos, and Sargent. So Sargent has gone on an outlap. He's on the track, but he's not set a time yet. He has done a full flying. He's in his first flying lap now.
That's when the engineers down there in the Williams go, okay, cross your fingers, right? And hope that you've tightened all those bolts and fixed that car as best that you possibly can as he gets out there and flies it around one of the fastest circuits on the Formula 1 calendar.
Currently, his teammate Albin is P15.
Yeah, definitely on the bubble, 1.9 down from Carlos's quickest time, which is almost a 2-minute flat. Verstappen about 19 thousandths of a second, a little bit behind,
We
more
have
pace to go.
6 left in the session.
Yeah, remember they essentially, to me, you get yourself within about 1 second of the quickest time at the moment of that 2-minute marker, you're fine. You got to be through to the next part of qualifying. That's the key. Anybody outside that 1 second, definitely will have to put a couple more great laps in there to secure it.
Paul in the chat is asking about what happened to Max. So first of all, Max has got a five grid penalty because he's got a gearbox. He potentially may have impeded Albin. That's being investigated. If that is a penalty, that'll be another 3-place penalty for Max, and these will be applied to the Sunday's race, not the sprint race.
Team Radio will be very tight on pushing for another lap there from Russell, but really Russell on outlap, I think he's within that 1 second bubble. I think he's okay. I'm not quite sure why Mercedes not gambling at this point. More than anything, Hamilton might be on a little bit of a bubble because he's 1.1 second outside of the pace. And honestly, from my predictions, we've seen this. You're in 1 second of Carlos's time. You should be okay. With 5 minutes to go.
Jumped to P2 with a 159.991. Within a tenth of Sainz, 0.84. Verstappen has gone first. First in the 158s, 0.932. So almost a whole second faster than Perez.
The track's going to get quicker, of course, as the water is displaced off this. So nobody going to gamble just yet. I'm looking forward to this. I think at some point, my friend, somebody's going to gamble on dry tires. Perhaps in Q3. Not sure about Q2.
No, I think Q2. I think they might end of Q2. We might see some. I think in Q2 we're going to see people gamble with the. We're going to see someone try and gamble on the slicks to get into Q3.
I think if you're in the, if you're in the, say, the Alpines or to get in there, etc.
Okay, Stewart said that the basically the incident between Albin and Verstappen will not be investigated any further.
I didn't think there was a lot in that one, but anyway. It's been deemed. Kev, can we have a multi-QR when possible? Ocon for
no, Evan. Red Bull has won every race this year so far. It's been mostly Max, but Checo has won races as well. Hamilton's gone P1 with a 158.841. For those who are asking for Hamilton P1,
Alfa Romeos again are impressing, aren't they? They are very impressive. I'm surprised about that. And we are seeing McLaren performance once again doing a fantastic job. Norris has to probably kick into the gear. He's 3 seconds off the bubble here. He's got to put in a good lap there. Ricciardo maybe seeing another shine of the old Aussie Thunder from Down Under spirit there and get himself perhaps into Q2. But more importantly, as I said, the Alfa Romeos have really come alive lately in qualifying, haven't they? They get murdered, unfortunately, in the race so far, but qualifying has been good.
So Sargent has set a 202.581. That's P18, unfortunately. Ocon on starting a flying lap. He's got the fastest sector 1 now. So he is something to, or he had it. The track is definitely evolving. It is getting drier.
24.1 degrees Celsius for the track, 19.3 Celsius for the air. Humidity is about 90%. It makes me feel like I'm here in Panama, my friend, with that high humidity.
So right now, Ricardo, Albon, Sargent, Meggs, and Hulkenberg are the ones at risk. Stroll is on the bubble at P15.
Not as dry as my ex-girlfriend. Ha ha. I love those little cheeky remarks out there. Here we go. 2 minutes to go, if anything. So let's see. On the bubble, as you said, Ricardo, Albon, Sargent, and both the Haas drivers. But
yep. 2-minute warning comes from the NFL. Basically, when you get to end of a half, the last 2 minutes, there's a required timeout that happens there, and it's a phrase that comes from the NFL. Basically, we have 1 minute left in the session.
Big problem launching Kevy for some reason. I'm looking at a replay. I have no idea why the Haas driver was struggling, but Kevy is definitely struggling. He's on a flying lap. Hulkenberg's on an out lap, so they're doing everything they possibly can. Gene Haas doesn't want to get a phone call, does he, from Gunter to say, sorry, Gene, none of our cars are going to be into Q2. Well, maybe Kevy's shaved about a second or so off his time, but it's not enough, my friend. He needs to shave 2 or more seconds there, perhaps get himself there. Alex is shaving about a second off his flying lap too.
He's gone to a P9. Gas has gone to a P10. Yeah, Magazine went through, has the fastest sector 3, so he's probably good to get through the next
P9. Big heavy.
Yeah.
I might be a little delayed on that one, as we saw a lovely lady in the audience there holding up the Danish flag celebration of Kevy.
So Ricciardo's improving his times. Not purple, but Hamilton's on a new flying lap, fastest sector 1 so far. Perez has gone P2. Tsunoda's gone P4, fastest sector 3, with a 159.04.
That's going to put pressure on Dan Ricciardo,
gone. Ricardo's got a subsector that's fastest. Max has gone P1, 158.51, 3/10 faster than Hamilton. Ricardo goes P6.
Williams to Logan, 10, 11, 12, 11, 10. You need to open, mate. I'm not quite sure they're talking about opening the DRS activation, but anyway, checkered flag's going to be out. So whatever lap you're on right now will set if you're going to make your way into next part of qualifying. Verstappen goes up the top of the timesheets, probably as expected. But can Dan Rick do it? Can Alonso on the bubble do it? And Charles Leclerc's now on the bubble too.
Oh, what has happened to Ricardo? Ricardo's lap was deleted. His lap was deleted at turn 4, lap 8.
And Charles Leclerc on the bubble. That's going to be interesting. The Ferrari driver needs to do it.
That's going to drop.
Carlos is P10.
And that's going to drop Ricardo out. Leclerc on the bubble. Gasly goes to 8th. Leclerc goes P1.
Wow.
With 158.3, 2/10 faster than Max.
How about saving that to the very last dying stages of being eliminated from Q1? Wow. Good job from Mr. Charles. Unfortunately, you will drop the Williams. And Ricardo and Hulkenberg, it looks like, may definitely be out as well.
Oh, that was horrible. He went off the track with Ricardo.
Got to give him some grace periods, my friends. He has been out of the race car and he's in the slowest race car at the moment. He did outperform his teammate in the first race in Hungary last week, so give him some credit. You don't get points for qualifying, my friends. You get points for the race results.
But you need to get a good qualification to get those points.
Well, and Ricardo right now in the last race and by turn one, my friend, and still got outperformed his teammate. So
yeah,
that's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, Ricardo will be starting 19th on the grid, pending any other penalties that might happen. Yeah, Williams goes P16, P18, Zoe 17th, and Hulkenberg P20. Those are the 5 that are going out in Q1. So Q2 will be starting in a few minutes.
Yeah, good job for Bottas, man. P10.
So they're looking at competing with Albon and Gasly.
I'm always amazed about that, my friend, because I commentate a lot of esports racing where there's 40-something drivers on a grid, and they still can somehow find ways of finding the space during qualifying sessions. You're talking about the best engineers on the planet and everybody calculating specific strategies, and somehow can't find a damn way to get a car in clear air. That really amazes me.
Oh,
and again, I'm not being paid the big bucks to be an engineer.
It's showing how Ricardo, where he went off the track.
Yeah, up through a Rouge. Yep, straight on. And it's probably a good thing for Dan Rick to do that, because otherwise, try to steer on the outside through that. That probably could have been a repair job that might not be ready for a sprint race. Anyway, lives to see another day. It's more important than Spa.
Mercatonic saying, "What is that Alfa Romeo livery?" I have been saying the same thing all season long, my friend.
Bad luck for the Honey Badger, as we're seeing one of the Williams go off. And the Williams are out, unfortunately, Alex. And, Logan Sargent, we can't really blame him because car was a little dinged up. They had to get it fixed in time. And you don't know fixing a car, do you? Like, something might not be tweaked properly and trying to mimic the setup that they had earlier. And remember, no real solid testing in the free practice because of the conditions. So that's even more difficult for the team, especially a team that doesn't have a massive budget like Williams don't have.
But right now, the track conditions that it is not raining anymore, but the track is wet and is drying. They're still on inters. And we're moving forward where we may see. I think we might see slicks at the end of Q2. Biggles earlier said he thought it might be in Q3.
I said Q2 or Q3, my friend, and this is going to be a gamble. Yeah, because the track looks dryish. There's some spray, but more importantly, the spray is only down the straights and not into the corners. That's the main thing. Is it wet in the corners? That's where it's going to punish you. If you do go those dry tires, you're gonna slam the stop pedal, and the car's going to go straight on rather than turn. Remember, these cars don't have all the fancy gizmos like ABS and stuff like that you have in your road car. This is straight man and versus machine versus Spa, as we're still seeing so many of everybody that's come to purchase their tickets in Belgium in the audience loving this race. And why not? Cars are going out now. Tires. Have you getting the information down there, Graz, on anybody gambling it yet on dryers?
So basically, we should be going out in about a minute. So race control set at 3:05. So within the next minute or so.
But when you go line up on the pit road, we're seeing Charles Leclerc, a little bit of a replay in the Ferrari. The rear wing's really bouncing around like crazy in that Ferrari.
Yeah.
Jose, did you see that one? I didn't even catch that earlier. That's Jose in the chat, of course. That's been a long-time supporter here of Racing Statistics. And I love you, Jose.
And Q3 has just started. So Hamilton is out first. It looks like Russell is second. Can't see who's next. That's too far out. They panned out too fast.
Looks like Inter's still, my friend. Don't think anybody's taking that game just yet. 14 minutes of this qualifying 2 session. So couple of bankers, they'll no doubt. I'll see if I can get. I'll read those race control messages from the teams. If anybody's going to be, they'll be asking the drivers right now, saying, "Do you feel it's ready?" The important, I think, a key important part is they're going through a rouge and there's a lot of spray. Now, a rouge is a high-speed, dangerous section of the track, and if you feel you don't have the grip, well, I wouldn't.
Right now. So we're going on with Hamilton. We're seeing that the top of the hill has a dry line, but so much of the track is still very much wet.
That's but more importantly through a rouge, of course, because you got sharp little 1 to 2 degree turns flat, and if those tires don't stick, you're in the fence, and a dangerous fence at that one that has unfortunately.
Yeah, it's still injuries right now on all the cars.
I think that's probably a good call from the teams right now to let the drivers kind of have a feel for the track. The drivers are the ones that are out there, right? You can have all the racing sims and all the racing analysis that you can possibly have, and trust me, we all know these teams have hundreds of people back in the factory calculating and crunching numbers. But the only person that can really tell you how it feels is the driver on the track.
Did I just see race control saying that they're going to investigate further with Max and Albon?
No, not seeing anything. I'm still seeing the investigation after the session of rejoining the track unsafely between Albon. That's the only message that I got from race control, but I didn't see if he did join the track unsafely or not. Some people they're asking. There is a dry line appearing in certain places. Just to confirm, it's past slow pace. Also consider certain turns. I'm starting to think now maybe some of the drivers are thinking about it as they're doing out there on their outlaps. Relaying the information to the teams.
So we're getting times populated now. Hamilton, Piastri, Russell, Bottas, Stroll, Max have set times. Hamilton's gone P1. He's now on a really proper flying lap. Fastest sector 1. Sainz has a sector 2 fastest time, but that is, we'll see if Hamilton takes that. He's going to finish in a few seconds.
Charles Leclerc in the apex of turn 9 looked like a bump. I couldn't see it. Maybe there's a small sausage. Just checking everything is okay. Should be. Oh, wow. These drivers know a lot of stuff we don't know. Still waiting to see if anybody's saying the message about, are we going to go to dries? I don't see anything just yet. You give them a lap or so, I guess, mate, first. Because they're still going to be quick. Hamilton's very quick at the moment.
Streamco is asking, where's Norris? He's still not on track yet.
I guess they're waiting. They have 11 minutes and change, so they can get out there for a couple of laps, especially if the track is drying. So I wouldn't worry too much about being a little late on your qualifying lap. Well, hopefully.
It could be that they're looking at the car because he did, he went through that gravel.
That's true.
So it may be that he may be done with qualification because they're replacing the floor.
Somebody did say that in the chat, right? Yeah.
So track is still drying. Alpine is the fastest sector 2, fastest sector 3, Hamilton fastest sector 1 right now. Bottas has gone fastest sector 3 with a 157.6. He's like 0.4 faster than. Okay, Magnussen has now gone 0.2 faster with a 157.
And we have to remember, Grash, that in these wet conditions, they are not enabled DRS. I'm not seeing DRS messages come up there. And DRS down that Camel Straight gives you so much speed. 17 kilometers an hour more you're going to get. But it's not available.
P1. He's done a 156. This is the only one in the 156 right now. Alcon is on a flying lap right now. He goes P2 in the 156. Oh, he's within it. Oh, my God. 2 1,000ths. Slower than between Piastri and Arcon.
Yeah, but Kevy just took it, mate.
All right,
Oscar
Perez is
got it,
strong
yeah.
with a 155.
Look
So
at those
he's
time differences, mate. You're talking about 2 to 3
time
seconds between drivers. That's
times are just
insane.
tumbling. Leclerc is done with a 156. Max is about is the next one. He's going to go P1 155.5. He's doing a 0.4 faster than Perez. Science is next to finish. He's going to go
Whoa,
9.
message from race control, Lance Stroll. Well, heads up. Watch your mirrors. It would be cool to push again. If you want 2 laps on softs, let us know. All right. So that's the calls coming out right now. Verstappen goes top of the timesheets. That's going to be a big gamble. But yeah, if you're going to get knocked out at the moment and Lance Stroll's down in the knockout zone, why not gamble it, mate? As long as you keep it out of the fence, more importantly.
So Gasly is P6, Norris is P7. That's pushing Mags down to P8. So right now, the Bottas is the driver on the bubble. Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll, Norris. Norris is on track now, so he's doing his first proper outlap at the moment.
Race control from Red Bull asking Sergio, is it ready for dry tires? He's not quite yet. It's getting very close. Everybody box at the end of this lap, and we'll do a slow, fast lap on the slip, whatever those messages are. Who knows? Team messages. We're watching George Russell. It's still pretty wet, isn't it, as you approach Eau Rouge? That's going to be the key. I think that's the dangerous territory in these conditions.
Let's see, Norris right now starting flying lap.
That's one out there. Maybe there's if we could throw a poll up or anything, like, will the quickest time in Q2 be on dries? Maybe another question will be, is anybody going to gamble to get in to the next qualifying session on dries? There's multiple questions.
Still, it's drying, but it's not fully dry. And that's the thing that, Jose is saying the same thing as me. This track's still not dry enough.
Yeah, we also saw Lewis Hamilton start a race by himself in the grid, didn't we, in the past? So who knows? If you're in the danger, I don't think Orlando's out. So yeah, maybe whatever they've done to the floor might just be enough to see if they can get him in. Race control. Hamilton's time has been deleted. Limits of turn 4, which is, as far as I know, that would probably be up through a Rouge or something like that for sure.
So we've got about under 7 minutes left in Q2 right now. You are listening to the Racing Sisters YouTube channel. Again, this is Grash, and I am with Biggles right now as we go through pit stops.
Race control from McLaren. From Lando Norris. I think slick now. I'm too slow. I need to do the risk. He's got to do the risk, and he's doing it.
He's going on.
Everybody, a lot of drivers now going on soft tires. So here it is.
Soft. Lando's on softs.
Yep, and not just them. A lot of drivers have gambled. They've stopped in the pit stop rather than being pulled in the garage. They'll get temperature into them.
Incident involving Hamilton and Russell noted. Rejoining the track unsafely. I'll probably get hand waved. So.
All right. See, I told you, my friend. I feel that the only thing I'm worried about is Eau Rouge. It's still very wet there, and you're at maximum throttle in a modern Formula 1 car. So you can't afford to steer it a little bit too much to the left or to the right. Now, your point of destroy is possible. Yeah, it's great, but you got to turn it a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things right now is on the display on the F1 stream. They have not updated the fact that like Bottas right now is on slicks. It doesn't reflect that on the screen.
Why, my friend? Because they're not using race statistics. That's why. If they were to use race statistics, it would be accurate. So there you go. We are even more accurate than the main Formula 1 feed. There you have it.
So we're 5 minutes ago in this session.
This will be interesting. Who is the first one? That's why I know for a fact Jose out there is probably on top of that one. Who's the first driver on slick tires that will be on a outlap about to be starting a flying lap? That's going to be the key to look at. And all the teams will be looking at that as well, going, what's those times? Are those times going to be quicker than the Inters? I think they will be.
Oscar might be one of the first ones. So Magnussen and Sainz were the last two to get to pit and to get softs.
I think you're right. It might be Oscar.
Ooh.
Yep. We'll see. He's still about sector 3. Some of the drivers are reporting, obviously, those little conditions at the moment that they're having on those soft tires. Nothing I'm reading there saying, no, undrivable. Nothing like that. None of those messages.
So we're not seeing...
Yeah, is DRS enabled? That's a great question. I haven't got any race control.
So we may be seeing like Max and Perez and Leclerc doing a second outlap essentially to put more temperature into their tires.
Oh yeah, you have to build up this soft set. Haven't they been struggling? Haven't they? I'm trying to get anybody know if DRS is enabled because I haven't seen any real clear pictures of going down.
I don't think DNS. When the track is wet, DNS is not enabled.
They're on dry tires, my friend, so the drivers are deeming it not to be wet.
But the FIA has still deemed it not ready for DRS.
It's the same for everybody, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Too much. Wing closed or wing
open. His front wing damage.
Oh, yeah, there is front left.
Oh, parts are coming off.
Where did he hit to get a front wing damage here in Spa, mate? Because you go off in Spa, you're usually in the fence and not recoverable. Does anybody know how it happened to Ocon? He's got.
They're doing a replay at the moment.
I had to say La Sauce.
He hit the Rolex barriers.
Oh, yeah, out of the second, third turn out of Lacombe, and that was he hit the barrier pretty hard. I'm surprised there's only a little bit of winglet damage on that one. This could be maybe a red flag situation because it has damaged the barriers a little bit. And that's also a high-speed section to have a crash as well, too. So that's, remember, out of the second Lacombe. And Formula One does not mess around with safety too often these days if they deem that is being affected. And Lance Stroll just avoided that one. We'll see.
So Oscar is on a proper flying lap right now. He's got the fastest sector.
I'm just curious. Yeah, 2 minutes to go. That's a hard call for race control. Risking a little bit of safety in a barrier or not, but with a couple of minutes to go, let's see. I know what they're going to do. They might continue the Q2 for 2 minutes and then delay Q3 to fix that. That might make sense, my friend.
Probably. If it was actually dangerous, they would have red flagged it.
I mean, they'll repair. But they might deem it's still recoverable for a high-speed impact, but if they can fix it, they will. Imagine another driver going in there and hurting themselves. That would be a big controversy. Anyway, we do have another minute and change.
Hamlin's just jumped to P4. Stroll has jumped up to P3.
Who's on the bubble?
Alonso, Bottas, Sainz, Russell, and Norris are on the bubble right now.
I don't think Norris is going to go out. Maybe that damages a little bit.
Norris is
he's got purple. Middle. I'm just going to shut up.
And he's going to go P1 with 154.051. Sainz has gone P2, 154.689.
Tsunoda. Can Tsunoda hang on and get himself into the final qualifying session? Russell goes to the top of the timesheet. Tsunoda's on the bubble.
He's gone P12.
Yeah.
Can he get? He's almost 0.4 off. Is he going to get the time? Bottas is at bottom 15. He's not going
What
to make
about
it.
Alonso, P14? I don't think Alonso's got a great lap on under him. Oh,
Oscar is the driver at risk now. Oscar's got the fastest sector, second sector. Sainz got the fastest first sector. Snowden's gone P1.
wow!
153.
Are you kidding me?
153.1.
Where the hell did they get that out of that car?
Whoa, 2 seconds faster. Hamilton's gone P2, 152.
Oh, last across the line is going to be quickest now for sure. The track conditions drying up.
Stroll's gone P2 with a 152.1.
Where's
Perez P4.
Where's the? He's not like the mind of like home.
Verstappen is on
We'll
the
see.
bubble.
Yeah,
No, Verstappen's in the drop zone.
but Max is on a flying lap. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem because the track is so dry right now. He just has to do maxi things.
Well, Alonso's gone P8. Matt has gone P9.
The last one across the line, I'm thinking, will be Gasly. So he's not out yet. Don't count anybody of this.
Gasly goes P12. Leclerc goes to P. Oh, Gasly doesn't do it. Oh, so close. Verstappen is going to be P10. So Tsunoda, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas, and Ocon are going to be out.
Oh, did you see Max
Wow.
Verstappen just on P10? I couldn't believe that. I thought he I don't know if he lifted off and made a mistake, but that's a little dangerous territory considering once again you'd mentioned he's got to take a 5-grid penalty. So that would be P15. See if you say you got P11, that'd be P16. And then again, Max would be like, that's not a problem. I can overtake 15 cars in my sleep. But still. Anyway. We're going to have a great shootout, aren't we, mate?
Okay, you called it. Start of Q3 will be delayed.
Yeah, I figured they have to do that because there's just like the risk of somebody hitting the same area. It's not worth the whole... it won't take too long. It's not a major thing they have to do. It's just...
But it will take some time to just check those barriers.
It's a difficult call because it's like you got a couple of minutes left of qualifying. Do you want to red flag it and delay it, or do you take the risk of?
Oh, Magnussen, basically the same place where Ocon basically hit the wall. Magnussen goes into the litter. Oh,
see, that's got to definitely call for race control. He hit in the same zone of where it's already damaged. Just a little bit later on that one. That's got to tell you in race control. If somebody hits that again at high speed, that's weakened the barriers and thus, therefore, and then they're not going to do their work properly, are they? If the barrier is weakened.
There could be a
little bit of complaining from the Ferrari being held up by the Haas, but the Haas was on a flying lap. The Ferrari was on a flying lap, and unfortunately, I'm sorry, my friend. If you're on flying laps, nobody has to pull across and give you blue flags. That's just the way the
Q3 is delayed, but
blame your team for not giving you space. Go ahead.
In chat basically started. Ricardo says Q3 is delayed due to Ocon, Magnussen crashes. Yes, Q3 has been delayed. Not necessarily because Ocon's and Magnussen crashes. We think that is the reason why.
It's got to be safe.
And by crashes, we're more kissing the wall than, full on breaking, going straight into the wall scenario.
And to me, sometimes you go, all right, it's just a couple of tires. They're not really out of place. It's not that bad. But really, the biggest, scariest moment, as we all know, in Bahrain, like what can happen to a Formula One car in a corner you don't even expect to, obviously, Grosjean, right? I mean, nobody it's probably watching the sports for all their life, and all the Formula One commentators and drivers have all looked at that and said, I could never imagine a crash in that place with Grosjean. So now Formula One is always taking things like this very, very seriously.
So I gotta jump into the chat right now. Eric Agley says Max won't get pole. He has a grid penalty. No, what happens is Max can get the pole. He can basically, if he qualifies P1, he will be the pole sitter. Then the basically the grid penalties come into play and will drop him back. He
Yeah,
gets
still get to celebrate the pole.
Media
and
RBX
right?
says he'll have
He still
pole,
gets the
but not the
trophy
pole
and everything
position.
too, right?
Yeah. He'll be the pole. He will be considered the pole sitter, but won't have the pole position when Max starts the GP.
Correct.
So the qualifying session 3 will be delayed. I thought it was 3 minutes, but I'm not reading that right.
I don't think you can repair that in 3 minutes. I mean, in Spa, they're generally very quick. I mean, Monte Carlo, they're the fastest on the planet when it comes to repairing stuff. But I would probably give it 10. So whatever.
Yeah, I was just reading the race control message wrong. It's session 3, not in 3 minutes.
So it gives us a little bit of a time to talk about what has recently happened. Alpine breaking.
Oh God! So let me go over that one more time. So this morning, basically, a whole slew of announcements with Alpine were made with people coming and going. So first of all, team principal Otmar Sapphire is leaving. Sporting director Alan Permain, ending 34 years at Enstone, is leaving. They are both leaving by mutual agreement. Read between the lines as you see fit. Pat Fry is leaving Alpine for Williams as their new chief technical officer. So these are 3 individuals who are leaving the team effectively end of this Grand Prix. Bruno Famin, the VP of Alpine Motorsports, will be the interim team principal from the Dutch Grand Prix onwards. Janine Rouse, who's the academy director, has been named the interim sporting director. And then Matt Harmon will lead the technical team in Enstone. So there's a lot of people are leaving, and internal people are moving up into different interim roles right now. So that's
yeah. Sorry, Garish, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like after the double DNF on lap 1 last week, this was to be expected.
But what I'm surprised about, my friend, is that you're announcing these big changes mid race weekend. Now, remember, after this, they have a summer break for quite some time. To me, you think, well, you just wait after Spa here and then announce that as breaking news during the break. But they've done it just this weekend, which is, to me, is like mind-boggling. Why
I would like
that.
To say the app words is that they're leaving by mutual agreement.
Yeah, but wait 3 days, bang, announce it, fine. It goes into that summer break situation. But
so Q3 will start. QC will start in 1803.
Okay.
So in 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
And just real quick there, the pictures, they are scrambling the McLaren garage underneath Lando Norris's car. So definitely that floor damage is affecting something, and they're trying their absolute best. And in fact, if anything, this little delay is going to give them a little bit more time to work on it.
I'm looking at something under Sergio's car.
DRS will be enabled for Q3. Thank you much, Jose, because I was still waiting to see if that was enabled for Q2, but I don't think it was. So Jose is on top of that one, as he always is. Thank you, Jose.
McCreed saying Max and Engineer having their weekly fight.
And thank you, everybody, for shouting out. We are getting so close, aren't we, to 100K subscribers. So I know a lot of you watch it, and if you are tuning in for the first time and you go, well, I'm not quite sure whether or not this is subscription worthy, and I do that as well too. We all do. We watch, YouTube clips and YouTube feeds and things, and we go, all right, I think it takes a lot to earn a subscription.
Leaving the paddock.
So, yeah, because they have a little bit of a break anyway. So if you do feel you are enjoying yourself and you feel like I could continue to watch these watch-alongs, hit that like, hit that subscribe button.
One of the things about Red Bull that they've admitted is that they have basically sacrificed some of their quali speed for race pace. So the fact that Max is P10 right now isn't too. I mean, it's surprising, but it's not too surprising.
I'm seeing pictures of Dr. Helmut Marko at the moment going, all right, well, if Maxi doesn't pick up his performance, we're going to fire him. I'm only kidding, of course, but we all know the dilemma that's going on down at Red Bull.
Yeah, I'd like to point out Perez is right now ahead of Verstappen in qualifying.
Yeah, we'll see how long that
So
lasts.
where are all those Perez haters? They've all gone quiet. And
hey, the man that's second in the championship, I'm telling you, as long as he continues to remain second in the championship, remember, there has been, I mean, I can never believe anything that goes on in Red Bull anymore where they go, yep, he's fine. He's secure to the rest of the end of the season. In fact, he's supposed to be secure to the end of 24. But really, we need to talk to Helmut Marko about that one, doesn't he? Because if he changes his mind, he changes his mind. Anyway, I think if Sergio continues to drive and continue himself securing P2 in the championship, well, he's done the best job he can for Red Bull, right? 1-2 drivers and constructors. What better can they do?
The key piece with Perez is that Horner is backing him, and he's got the backing of his team. Again, on top of that, he is P2 in the drivers' championship.
You can't get any better. I mean, tell me how to get better. It's either he is P1 or Max is P2, or Max is P1 and he's P2. They win the Constructors' Championship. They win the Drivers' Championship. There's nothing else you could possibly do any better. So how could you honestly look at it and go, well, Perez, we have to replace your seat because you should have done better. The only way to do better is to beat his own teammate, and they still, Red Bull, are going to win. So
Q3 is about to start in about within the next minute.
We can talk about this till we're blue in the face, but if you're second in the championship, you're still doing a great job.
Someone had just compared Perez to Bottas when he was at Mercedes, and that's the role that Perez is in. He is the wingman to Verstappen. That's why they brought him in to that was his role, and does that role very well.
I still think at the start of the season it's game on, right? So Perez, if Perez is beating Max by this time right now, sure, Red Bull's going to support him to continue that, right? And if the championship's in a battle where they could get beaten by another team, then they might do switcheroos of drivers. But at this point, they're 1-2. There's no point in changing anything. Sergio had a chance to beat Max in this championship. Go ahead.
One of the Oscars about to come out of the garage. Again, as Q3 is about to start, I want to thank the 6,326 who are watching right now. If you're not subscribed, now is a great time to do so. If you haven't liked the stream, it does help us. Again, this is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel, and you're listening to Grash, that's me, and Biggles, my friend here at the moment.
I can't wait to come visit you in Texas, mate, and cook up some kangaroo on the barbie. So, Q3, you'll be like, kangaroo. I'm not sure when I try that.
Okay. I don't know where I could get kangaroo where I am in Texas.
Bring it, mate.
When I lived in New Hampshire, I knew where to get I knew where I could buy that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, no. I mean, there was a store. Was it in Concord? Yeah, they were in Concord. They specialized in not chicken, beef, or pork.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
game meat and stuff.
I got ostrich one day from them. I have gotten veal. I got veal from them as well.
Thank you very much for the donation, my friend Themis. If I get, I'm a butcher of names, but either way.
So Themis Burn, basically going let goes for McLaren. Thanks for the live stream, guys. Thank you for donating.
Who's your pick, by the way, my friend, for P1 qualifying? Yeah, to that man that's donated. You get your pick, my friend.
I'm gonna
go. By the way, you don't have to donate everybody for a pick, but we do appreciate that one. He gets a shout out, of course, for doing it. Jose says everybody on track. All right, Jose. So you're sitting on the fence on that one, my friend. There's going to be 10 drivers potentially get a pole.
I'm gonna go with Oscar.
All right.
I just something. He's gonna get his maiden pole.
You're going for an Australian, mate. All right, I like that.
I'm swinging for the fences.
Jose's going for Oscar. I like it. Maxi for Paul. All right, let's go, Maxi. Anybody else?
Those who are picking Max, you're not. It's not wrong to pick Max.
It's a good bet. I tell you that.
It's a good bet.
The man's won a lot of races this season. See, 10 minutes. We'll find out, won't we? Stroll for pole. Hey, that's a possibility. Don't deny that one. Because Stroll was actually doing quite well, I have to say, in this qualifying session. Hamilton pole. Another Oscar.
Carlos Lewis.
Ferrari.
Someone's going with Max Brasky Perez.
Anybody but Max. Hey, you can't blame him. I remember people saying that about 5 years ago, going, everybody but Hamilton, please, no more.
So for those of you who are in chat right now, you just saw Racing Tickets just put up some new special emojis for those of you who have joined. So after you subscribe, you can then join the channel. So basically, you're paying like $2 a month to help us basically maintain the stream. It does cost some money to the level we're doing. It does cost. There's some costs that we incur. So for me, if you look like Jose's, there's a badge next to our names, and that's indicating that star badge basically is we've joined the channel. Yeah, and then one of the perks again is we've got several emojis. Again, the indicate the number and driver. We've got different cars. My favorite is still the box emoji. I actually have that on a mug. And again, you can also get that. We have a little merch show that these items are in as well.
Good question out there, and thank you for that as well. To definitely be a part of that, and just turning up every week as well. So we will notice you, won't we? Myself and the other fantastic commentators, yourself, and obviously Rain that puts on all the race broadcasts. But 09 at there, I think that's Mercedes, says, how do drivers heat up the tires when they don't weave anymore? That's a fantastic question. An answer for that one there, Crash?
So we're getting pretty much by driving them. There's ways to drive the car by pushing them. You can then put temperature into the tires. So Oscar's P1 went 148.5. Norris has gone 148.7. Alonso and Stroll have gone. So they're the first four on the table. Hamilton has gone P4. Russell P6.
Generally, in this third qualifying session, and not the new format that they were testing out last weekend, is
Verstappen has gone P1.
The first bank is in. Now, the track, and I imagine, will improve. So expect the second banker laps that drivers will be a huge.
Leclerc P1 in a 147.
Mate, with the track drying up like that, I have to imagine to last across the line will be the quickest, depending if you've got a good lap in. That's what I'm predicting anyway. So key is where they are on the track. Check the track map, of course, that's provided here in Race Statistics, and see how they're going to space the drivers out.
So Sainz has gone P3. So we've got Leclerc P1, Verstappen P2, Sainz P3, Oscar, Norris, Alonso, Perez, Hamilton, Stroll, Russell.
Nobody at all had predicted Perez for pole. Very interesting. It's not like Perez anymore. I just like seeing Perez pass everybody. He's the most overtaken drivers. Overtaken more drivers than anybody else this season.
So one of the comments from is that Sainz has the fastest first and third sector, but lost time in the third sector, pushed him down to P3.
He probably made a mistake at the bus stop. Lewis just did as well. The only place you can really make a mistake in the third sector is the key bus stop. You can check in, everybody, but you may never check out. Well, we're going to find out in just shy of 5 minutes' time. Is it hammer time? Yep.
Last race, he was in Q3. He's in Q3 in this weekend.
He just didn't crash out unfortunately in practice one, so it's all good to go.
Yeah. 5 minutes left in the session as we go.
Now, importantly as well, too, is that Who's on used sets and who's on fresh sets? That's going to be a big difference. You don't see it when on the timing dial.
Oscar Norris, Alonso, and Stroll have all pitted, so they're probably going on to fresh tires.
Which is back to the normal format, right? Because I believe that obviously the different qualifying format we had last weekend, you have a limited set of tires. I think they're back to normal set of tires, right?
No, they had, I believe they had a dedicated set of tires for Q1, Q2, Q3, and then as a result, they had fewer tires overall allocated to them.
But this weekend, or
this weekend is back to normal. Well, this weekend is a sprint weekend, so I'm not really sure how their tires are allocated at the moment. But we're not using the same qualification tire rules as we did last weekend.
Yeah, and because it's a sprint weekend, it would be a little bit different. We'll see whether or not they're going to continue that one because I haven't read any information of if they are. It's a trial. We'll see. As they pull most of the cars back into the garage, and the interesting thing, of course, the tire blankets are on most of the tires. And even if they are to pull the tires off, it's very difficult for us to know if they are shiny, brand new ones or they are worn. I mean, sometimes you can see the shine on the tires, but whether or not the pictures are there, because this will be the last sprint. About 90% of the drivers are back in pit road. Hamilton's out. Russell's out on track. I'm probably just returning back into the garage. And that's something that indicates to me that Mercedes are going to gamble on perhaps getting their cars out last to be the last across the line. So keep an eye at that one as well, because they're going to get ready to line up to start their final flying qualifying lap. So out lap, flying lap, and then you're back in.
Yeah, again, and one of the Ferraris is out. The other Ferrari is out, so they're the first two to go out. Russell's out. No, Russell's coming in the pits.
You're gonna have to come out soon. 3 minutes or so left. Remember, it's a under
Max
shy,
is out.
150.
Checo is still in the garage.
So I felt 150-second flying lap, and your out laps generally give or take 2 minutes. You got 3 minutes on the dial, so you got to get across that line within 3 minutes right now. Otherwise, you're in trouble. So they're all out of the road.
Max does have a 5-place grid penalty because he's taken, I think, his 5th gearbox. Oh, what's going on?
This is going to be a little bit of one of those kerfufflings, I think, my friend. This is going to be a kerfuffling for sure, because they're doing practice starts on the pit exit. It's green light in the pit
No, they're not doing pit. But
they're holding everybody up. That's buying time for people. You got 2 minutes and change to get across the line. If you don't get across the line before your flying lap, you're not going to get a lap in. So I wouldn't be surprised that there is a shocker at the end of this qualifying session.
Alonso took a very long time to get out of the pits.
He did. I think that might be strategy.
Max was behind him.
Oof, I just feel there's going to be complaints soon.
There will probably be complaints. We may not see drivers get over the line.
No, I know that's going to come down to what's happening there, isn't it? Who's it going to hurt? Let's look at the track map. It may hurt Hamilton, Russell, and Perez. They're the last on the track. So I think Stroll's going to be the first to do a flying lap, and then the Ferraris.
Hey, chat. This is a family-friendly chat and channel, so please be careful with what you say. Yeah,
my grandma's watching, my friend. She'd only be a happy camper if she's reading stuff like that. Anyway, 1 minute and change.
We do have kids who watch this channel.
Yeah, that's true, of course. Yeah, we're all about the community here. This is going to be interesting. I'm telling you, it's about a minute to go. They're on out laps, so they're going to basically put qualifying laps in at this point, but not burn your tires out too much. And whether they're on fresh rubber or not, what are the drivers on? Real quick there. Grashy, are they all on softs? It looks to me like they are.
Hey, Gareth, I don't know why the bot timed you out, my friend.
My grandma swears like a trooper. Anyway, so Stroll will play the first across the line. Leclerc, Carlos, both of the McLarens. Then you'll have Alonso, Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, and Perez. So that's it. Perez might be, if he gets it across the line in time, maybe George Russell might not get across the line in time, but we know that definitely Stroll will be, Leclerc and Carlos. Let's see how the Ferraris go.
Here we go. Time is 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up.
Don't think they got it, did they?
I think everyone's got across the line. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the flying laps. Yes, Don, it's the penalties for the main race, not the sprint. So basically, where Max qualifies here, he's going to drop five places.
Yeah, he's gonna focus on pole anyway, regardless of what's happening.
Stroll and Leclerc are the first two. Stroll goes P6. Leclerc
should be the fastest, I'd imagine, at this point.
He's going 146.9.
Yep.
Max is purple first sector and second sector. Sainz goes P2, 147.
Oscar's quick as well. Keep an eye out for the Thunder from Down Under.
Gasly goes P3, 147.3.
Could be the first pole for the Australian driver too.
Norris goes P4, 147.6.
Solid form.
Next to finish is Alonso. He's going to P5. Next to finish is going to be Max. He's going to go purple across the board, 146.1. Wow, almost a full second faster than everyone else. Hamilton's going to go P3. Perez goes P3, take faster. Less 0.04 faster than Hamilton. Russ goes P8, and that's all they said. Yeah, Max is going to go P1. He's going to drop to P6. So Leclerc and Perez are going to be on the front row. Hamilton, Sainz on the next row. Gasly's going to be P5, going to be on the same row with Verstappen, Norris, and Russell, and then Alonso, Stroll in our top 10.
And the Ferraris have done it there at least. So Leclerc gets himself in the second row. Perez, of course, he'd be happy with a good qualifying performance. Lewis in P4, Carlos in P5. And Oscar out-qualifies Lando Norris. So I'm sure the Australian driver will have a bit of a smile on his face. As long as he can keep ahead of him and get, hopefully, no safety car strategy missing out on that one. We'll see. Russell probably going to be a little bit disappointed down in P8 there, and both of the Aston Martins, 9th and 10th. $18, $17. We need it, guys. Come on. Only a handful more. Show us your support. And 16. Show a little bit of support. Max Verstappen, of course, going, yep. I think he knew it. He had it in the bag. I mean, almost a second, Grash. Are you kidding me? I mean, he'll drop, as you said, 5 places, but all he can do is put it on pole. He can't control the gearbox, right? That's technical. But he can do the best that Maxi can do, put the car on pole.
I mean, he had an issue in Jeddah, which caused the gearbox issue. But yeah, no.
That one. Yeah, but I mean, who would not be surprised if Maxi doesn't slice his way through the field there and win the race anyway from P5? I'm sure.
Yeah, no, that's impossible. I mean, again, Max found when he needed to put this banger lap in. I mean,
8 tenths, mate. That's not fun in time. That's like that's like comparing an F2 car to an F1 car almost. It's like, come on, guys, step it up a gear.
Cool says, unless they make changes to the rules soon, F1 will be very boring to watch. Like, dude, if you're only looking at the very top, you're looking at what Max, P1, P2, P3, you're going to be missing a lot of other things that are going on down the field. Like one of the stories right now is, hey, McLaren's in the top 5.
5 to go, 4 to go. Come on, who wants to get the magic number out there in the stream? Because we have it, Max Verstappen, Leclerc, and Perez. So Red Bull 1 and 3, and the Ferrari mixing it up there. How many are we down to? 4. 4 there, Grashy. 4, mate. Celebrating you back in the commentary box there, and hope of lifting your spirits up. They get you back in 110%, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still healing. I'm not 100% yet, but I am in a much better place than I was last week. literally after each session, I was laying down because I was having basically pain. It was hard to sit for any amount of time. In fact, that was the most amount of time I was sitting at that time was for these sessions. So,
we got it. 97,000 subscribers. Hit the jackpot. Exactly, my friend. Well, you must have felt like you've been driving around Spa for a 100% race, mate. You can't sit down. Exactly. So there you go, my friend. And happy birthday out there earlier for the person in chat there. That's a happy birthday present. And Maxie, of course, gets his birthday. 97,000. That's amazing. Thank you, everybody. Brilliant support. We love it. What a way to help Grashy cheer his way up as my you're out of hospital.
Yeah, someone is saying that Alpine is falling behind the mid card. Yeah, and you can see that by the changes in people in leadership that they did today. Upmar's going to finish out this weekend, and then Monday he's going to be no longer employed.
Maxie doesn't even look like he's breaking a sweat, my friend. Remember the man, this is his second home. So I spent a lot of time here in Spa and, of course, in the Netherlands. So they do say that Maxie has two homes on one calendar. Spa is one of them. And it's proved it today that he's the quickest man in Spa qualifying.
Hamilton or Russell might get a penalty because of the unsafe return to track. So there's that still to be investigated. We will know tomorrow when we come for the sprint shootout. Congratulations to Racing Statistics, our channel, for hitting 97,000 subscribers. We've been pushing for that for a while. Why check with his praise? Because he qualified third. That's pretty easy, man. I mean, like that's he qualified third. So
that he did. And on that note, my friend, I need to lay down after that exciting qualifying session. Looking forward to the other events that will also be always broadcasted live here on Race Statistics. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Grash. And a big shout out to everybody supporting us. 97,000. Keep going. 100K. It's going to be amazing soon, my friend.
Yeah, 100K soon. So I want to thank everyone who's still here right now. Again, this is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel. You have just been listening to Biggles as is on his way out to sleep, and this is Grash. I'm probably gonna take a bit of a nap myself. That's just how I've been rolling lately. Again, thank you for being here, and we will see you tomorrow for the sprint shootout. All right. See you tomorrow.